Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Holes 2. Digging up them holes, dig 'em. Just kidding. I'm here to review Digging to Death. I couldn't resist, and I enjoyed that way too much. Hope you all did. This film is written, directed, and composed by Michael P. Blevins, and this little horror film is about a man who takes on this fix-em-up kind of home after a divorce. He has this connection with his daughter, which honestly a decent chunk of the beginning of this film, like the first 5 to 8 minutes are just like him eating some Chinese food with his daughter in their new home and just in his new home and just pouring out that exposition. But this film focuses on this descent because he is convinced that he can do his own putting in the sanitation stuff in the backyard, and he finds a hole and it has a dead body and $2 million in it. Which also, side note, him digging up this hole was him picking up not even a handful of dirt on this shovel, which also it didn't look like dirt, it looked like ground covering that you put down in your beds and stuff like that, but it's a whole other story. This didn't have a big budget, and you can tell plenty of times, but you have this story. This father-daughter relationship starts off, but before there you even get this creepy music over this mysterious looking and artistic looking intro that completely doesn't set the stage for this weird, offbeat, strange horror film you have here. And you get all this dialogue dump, and you have this creepy looking house, and he's visited by a guy who's going to be working on his house, and it's the grandpa for Grounded for Life. And then he has his friend come over, it's Max from Armageddon, and I'm like, how many other random character actors am I going to see popping up in this? It's disappointed it was only the two of them. But you have this film, and he has these money issues, but he finds this money in this dead body, and he's just like, I'm gonna keep it. And it's obnoxious how much they use the score here. It sounds like the creepy strings and everything. It sounds like it's straight out of M. Night Shyamalan film, but none of the scares are really as meaningful and poignant as that. And you're just sitting here this is a lot. And this film is so interesting because you have Ford Austin, who plays our main character, and he's really trying to push humor throughout this whole entire film. And I get what he's trying to say is funny, but it just feels so stiff. And it doesn't really come off as funny. I never really laughed watching this movie. And honestly, some of the performances are pretty stiff and awkward. And you can tell that this didn't have a whole lot of budget going into it. It didn't have the strongest actors in it. And Austin, I don't know if really stands out as a really charismatic actor in this part. And you have this stiff dialogue. You really feel the budget throughout. It has some creepy setups, but the tone doesn't really lend itself because it's I can't tell if this movie's trying to be funny at times, but it just comes off this way. And he keeps getting haunted by this dead body, and the dead body's the design of it's kind of silly looking, and he shuffles off like a little old man, and it's just I can't tell if I'm supposed to be freaked out by this or not, because I'm not. And none of this really was scary except for how the cheapest of cheapest jump scares with this most obnoxiously loud music. But this film feels pretty cringy, and it sets up this descent for this character where it goes to some places that other films have gone before but have done it in such a better job. This just feels so forced and oh crap, we need to get the ball rolling now, but it never felt earned. Where this film goes doesn't feel earned, and then you end the film on such a note that you're just kind of what did I get out of this? Why did I watch this? And you never want to feel that way at the end of a film. This has some merit in what it was trying to do, and I'll give it credit there. But how this all really came together feels like a misfire. And unless you really appreciate silly, like weird, goofy horror films that maybe you could watch this with a group of friends and this turns into like one of those midnight cult classic movies. Overall, though, I think this is pretty low budget and you feel it, and it doesn't really come together in the way that it hopes to. So, wouldn't necessarily recommend this one. But those are my thoughts on Digging to Death. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.